Okay, well, I had to go to the weed store because, as it turns out, every fucking cartridge I had didn't work at all. So it's a good thing that we stopped the video. Like, if you did go watch the nightmarish 30 minutes of me talking about cancer and drugs and illegal SBRs and whatever, welcome back to the show. The other thing I've been doing lately is video games. I'm going to talk about that now. I haven't been playing any video games yet because, I don't know, I ordered a fucking PSP. It was a good deal on the model that I wanted, but it came from Canada, so I have to wait. But I ended up deciding to go with a PSP for a gaming system, and here's why. I was looking at wanting to play retro games and some more modern games even, and like the list of games that I wanted to play was Galaga, and like really ideally the rest of like the Namco arcade collection, but at least Galaga, and Lego Indiana Jones, and like some sort of a driving game and some sort of a 007 game. And if we could get other classic like arcade games and shit, like that would be cool too. But like that's mostly the stuff that I'm into. When I went looking for a way to play all of this, I pretty much decided that I wanted to go portable. And I kind of figured that now I could probably get all of those games on like a little handheld of some sort because there's so many emulators and whatever. And I went looking into that, and those exist, but basically at the end of the day, they're all kind of cheap and a crapshoot. And I really enjoyed playing the PSP. My favorite racing game is Gran Turismo for the PSP. My other favorite game for the PSP was Lego Indiana Jones, which was my favorite game on the PSP and on the Xbox One and Xbox 360, I believe. Like I had that on several things. Like I may even get a fucking Xbox One again because I have so many games for it on their online shit, and I could add on Lego Indiana Jones and a couple others and have a console in my house. And like that may be like the next step, but like for now, I wanted something that I could take with me because, like, look at the world, man. Like, I'm wanting something like I can play a video game while camping. You know, and or just play here at the house. That's how we ended up with the PSP. The UMD discs are, I just think they're kind of cool. They're not the best solution in the world, but they do last pretty much forever if you take care of them. The PSP itself, everything on it can be replaced, basically. All the parts are still made. The batteries I can still get. And I'm going to probably buy an entire second and even third PSP and all of the shit to go in and fix them and whatever, and extra screens and everything. I'm going to load up on it. And my reasoning here is basically that it plays all of the games that I want to play. Like, look at my list that I had. The thing that I didn't know how I would get was I wanted GoldenEye. And it's just, I can't get that. What I can get is From Russia with Love is a sequel-ish thing made to GoldenEye. It looks pretty cool, and there's a copy for the PSP. I think it was a PlayStation 2 game, and I don't know. I have a copy of that now, so I'm excited to play it and a couple other things, and I'm gonna load up on classic games for that thing that I enjoy, and have probably multiple copies of some of them, especially while I can get them in as good a condition as I scored Lego Indiana Jones in the Namco arcade for. I got both of those games for like $7 or $8 a piece, and they're like new. The Namco arcade one, some kid played with or something, and like the UMD case is a little scuffed up. but otherwise it's like new. And Lego Indiana Jones, like literally, like there's a mark on the manual. Other than that, it's like a new video game. So for something like Lego Indiana Jones, where I'm going to play it a lot, I think I'm going to buy a few more copies of that if I can find ones that nice for that cheap. Kind of the same thing with Gran Turismo and even that Namco arcade game. Like ones that are going to get used a lot, I'm going to buy a few copies of. And like this is all, prepping for the future. Like this video game system does not use the internet. It has a physical media disc so that you can just own your games. It has a battery pack that is cheap and easily replaced and like looks like it'll be made forever because there's enough PSPs in existence and like I don't know. I'm going to buy a handful of batteries, but I'm going to watch the market on those things. There's a thing I think where you can get like 10 of them for $100, so I might do that. Because that'll mean I have batteries for fucking years on that thing. And like I said, I think the real, like, pro gamer move here, or whatever, is to fucking get multiple consoles. And, like, this is, from a, in the future standpoint, if you get older or whatever, and, you haven't needed to, break into the extra consoles, maybe start selling some of that shit off when it's worth a bundle. It's, if the world ends, I would like to be able to pass down the fucking beloved PSP collection of parts and everything to one of my nephews. I think that would be cool. And like honestly, the PlayStation Portable is my favorite video gaming experience I've ever had. And maybe we should talk about me and video games because like that's a whole thing. This will give you an idea of why we're buying a PSP. Like growing up, I was not allowed to play video games. I had a couple of CD-ROM games for the computer that were like $10 at Office Depot that my mom let me buy. And like one was like some shitty Navy SEAL game, one was like some Normandy game, and then we had like Age of Empires. And other than that, we didn't have any video games until the Namco Arcade Classics TV console things came out. They had made one for Pac-Man and one for Miss Pac-Man. And I bought both of those because my mom loved Pac-Man and she let me. And they had Pole Position and Galaxian and Galaga on them and Rally X and a handful of other games. I don't really like Pac-Man that much. I kind of hate Pac-Man. I really like Galaga though, so I'm a big fan of those things. Anywho, I didn't get any sort of modern console until 2008 or 9, somewhere in there. I was a senior in high school, graduating high school, and had a little bit more freedom and money and whatever. And I bought a Xbox One, like the original Xbox. Sorry, I said Xbox One, and I just realized that that's a modern console. But like the original Xbox, I bought it for $50 off my friend Tim. It came with a couple games, a couple controllers, and man, that was the coolest gaming thing I had ever done ever. Like, when your experience is a couple of shitty bootleg shooters on a PC, Age of Empires, and the Namco Arcade Collection, fuck it, man. Xbox was the shit. I played through a whole bunch of games. I've played through most of the library of the Xbox. And I did that mainly because at the time I was going to school at a community college because I had free tuition at a community college here for 2 years. And while I was doing that, I was working at a movie theater. And basically, I was spending the extra money that I had buying Xbox games that were like used at vintage stock that were like $10. And, at that time, that was really a cheap way to game. That's kind of how I've always been. I've never been one to go out and get the latest and greatest thing. Like, I had an Xbox One a couple of times over the last little bit here where the Xbox One was the console to have for Xbox. But other than that, I've always been like a generation behind or whatever usually. I guess now when I got the 360, yeah, there were still people playing on it, so I guess not so much. Because like that was the upgrade I eventually made was from Xbox to Xbox 360, right? Because like everybody in the world played the fucking demonstrators of the Xbox 360 at like Target and Toys R Us and Walmart and shit like that. And Call of Duty on that thing, I just wanted to play so goddamn bad. So eventually I got one of those. And that introduced me to paying $60 for a fucking video game. And I kind of got disenfranchised with that real quick and learned to pick a couple of games that I really would like or that I thought I would like. And that's what I bought. I didn't try new shit anymore. And, you know, I think that's pretty much how I am now. But somewhere in there around the Xbox 360 time is when I got a PSP. And I had a new job and was getting paid quite a bit of money and just wanted to go buy something for me. And I went into fucking Best Buy and bought the Gran Turismo edition of the PSP. New in the box. And I think I bought Lego Indiana Jones to go with it because I had it for the 360 because my 360 came with it. And I loved that game. It was fucking badass. Like, it's still one of my favorite video games. I laughed at it when I got it because I was like, who wants to play this thing? I was like, I have it for free. It is Indiana Jones. Let's give it a shot. And it became like the arcade game just to throw in when you wanted to just play a game for fun. Like, you know, usually I don't play video games like, oh, I'm just going to game all day. Like, I play for 20, 30 minutes, maybe an hour, and I'm done. And, like, I like a game that I can kind of pick up and go from like that. And, like, first-person shooters are my normal jam for that. But if you don't have Xbox Live, fuck, man. Indiana Jones is a fun game. And, like, this is half of the thing. Is, are we talking about gaming with people online? Or are we talking about gaming by yourself with no internet? Because gaming by yourself with no internet is a totally different thing. And then that's when Lego Indiana Jones shines. Anyway. But that's why I'm buying a PSP again, I think. Is a little bit of, like, nostalgia. I bought the exact one that I had. And I spent entirely too much on it. I didn't say the correct amount on Instagram because there's a couple people that watch that I don't want to know that I spent $160 on a video game system. But it's really nice and it is everything that I wanted all in one package, and it looks like someone had just opened it up and threw the box away, and it was half of the price of the next cheapest one that was out of the box for the Gran Turismo thing that I wanted. And, like, it's not really that big of a deal, but it was one of those that it wasn't that much more to get the exact one that I had. It was an extra, like, $40. And it was so nice that I just decided to spend that money. And my other reasoning on this was going to buy a copy of Gran Turismo. Basically, that was a popular enough game that those were 30 or $40 too. So it's kind of a wash almost. I spent an extra $10 or $15 to make sure that I got exactly what I had before. You know, that's why the PSP, I think, is there's that memory of going to Best Buy and just being able to just buy it. I don't remember how much it was offhand. I think it was like $120, $140, something like that. Originally. And I think Lego Indiana Jones was fuck another like $30, something like that. Because, console gaming, or gaming in general, man. This is my thing with gaming modern shit is I don't care to game really crazy modern stuff really unless I want to play the new Call of Duty and do it live on Xbox versus people. Like, I'll get into that. But short of that, I don't really see a reason to have a super modern console. And I definitely don't see a reason to have a PC. This is half of the thing. It's like everybody's like, well, you should just get a gaming PC. I don't like PCs. I have a MacBook for a reason. Okay, I legitimately do not like using one. In the past, when I gamed with PCs, I always ended up like having problems to the PC to the point that it didn't work anymore. So, I don't care. I like Xbox. Leave me alone. Like, I will never fucking PC game ever. The only thing that made me even consider it for a minute was the Steam Deck. And like, this is, alternatives to the PSP. The things I considered was the Nintendo Switch and the Steam Deck. And the Steam Deck was a lot more money. And I kind of just got the feeling that eventually I would hate that thing. Whereas the PSP, I understand everything that there is to know about it. It's cheap. Like, I bought a kind of Pimp Daddy one, and it was $160. I spent another $50 on games, which I got 20 of back. The copy of James Bond, what's it called? From Russia with Love I bought. The UMD disc case was broken, and when I went to return it, they said just keep it and gave me my money back. So I'm ordering a new UMD cover for it because, like, you can do that. I didn't want to fuck with that, but for free I will. So I've spent $30 on other games, and I'm gonna go get the stack. It's funny what I got. There they are. Okay, so I bought. Howdy, boys. I bought these thingies that came with a bunch of discs because I wanted these because I remembered having them and they were nice to keep the games in. Anywho, the games that it came with were Puzzle Challenge. Man, sucks to read those. An IQ Test. Buzzmaster Quiz. These are some classics. Where's the other one? Yeah, there it is. Ultimate Texas Hold'em 2, which, to be honest, I'll play that one. That's a score. All the rest of those are ones that I got. And then it came with 2 movies. And one is a collection of South Park episodes, which is 100% good. There's nothing wrong with it, so score there. And then 50 First Dates. This is the reason that I bought this. Was these were $15 for the 2 of these with all of these discs versus $25 for 3 of these with no discs. And 50 First Dates is legit one of my favorite movies. If you've never seen 50 First Dates, you should just go watch that and like know that the bitch in that movie and I have way too much in common. Like, I don't know. I'm kind of a forgetful bitch, and I just wake up in a new world every day, and I kind of like to do art and crazy shit, and like, yeah. Anyway, so that's why we got that. Between the Ultimate Texas Hold'em and 50 First Dates, I saw the South Park in there, and like, it can't be bad. I don't know what episodes are there yet, but there's basically not a horrible episode of South Park. If they put them on a fucking collection for the PSP, they're probably pretty funny ones, you know? Like, I'm hoping. The 3 that make me laugh are the ones that basically I'm just going to throw away. The puzzle challenge, I might hang on to. I might actually play that. But, like, the IQ test and the Buzz Master Quiz, I'm never going to play that. The puzzle challenge is like crosswords and word searches and shit. And, like, I do like that, but I don't know if I would like it on a PSP. Then you got James Bond. Can't believe that was free. And then this thing is just like new. This is the Namco Arcade Collection. And Lego Indiana Jones. Anyway. Beyond... we were with the Xbox 360, I believe, talking about like my history with gaming. And like the thing I remember most about that game is Red Dead Redemption and Call of Duty Black Ops. I played those games a fuck ton. And I was playing Black Ops so much that when the Xbox One came out, I bought one of those pretty early on. Like it was the first Christmas that was out. I think I bought one for the, what is that? The after Thanksgiving sale, Black Friday. I ordered one on Amazon. It was like $250 or something. And I played that for a long time. And I ended up getting bored with it. And kind of decided that they were going to come out with something better or whatever. And sold it and all the games. And was going to just wait and see what came out next. And, you know, a few years later, I think I bought a second Xbox One that was just a way better Xbox. Like, they fixed everything I hated it about it, and they gave it a much bigger memory, and, like, I'm sure you guys can remember, like, they changed a lot of stuff throughout the generations of the Xbox One just to try to keep up with PlayStation, I guess, and I think that's what they're going to be doing again. They're doing all these stupid, like, console wars, trying to, like, be the best. I don't know. I just wish that they would come out with a good machine and leave it alone. Maybe every 5 or 10 years come out with an upgrade. Like, I'm really disillusioned with the whole video gaming thing. My last stint with it was I bought an Xbox One to play games with Matt and the guys over there at Never Enough Ammo and all them. And I bought it mainly because Red Dead Redemption 2 was coming out. And it was a combo of like, hey man, I want a game with friends, and fucking Red Dead Redemption 2 looks fun as fuck. Ended up basically never playing Red Dead Redemption 2 because I played it for 7 hours and couldn't get through the tutorial. So I sold that game. I gave up when they started teaching you how to hunt with a bow and arrow. And, like, I wasn't playing Red Dead Redemption as a hunting simulator. I kind of liked the fact that you could just, like, get on horseback with a lever action and ride through the forest blasting shit. So at the point that they had, like, okay, and now Hiawatha, you must slowly stalk up to the deer and take your bow shot. And this is how we hunt in this game. Just like, I stopped playing it at that point. I don't know what happens after the hunting of the deer in Red Dead Redemption 2. I don't give a fuck about it either. And this is where, like, I'd like to get another Xbox system just to play the original Red Dead Redemption again. I think it works. The 360 works on the Xbox One. And that's why, like, I looked at the new Xbox consoles, and they want the moon for those things. Xbox Ones are back down to normal, cheap. They're like $100. I'm going to buy one of those again. I still have all my games in my fucking, like, Xbox account. I sold the physical games I had in my, like, Xbox remote and my hard drive, but, like, those really aren't that expensive anyway. So eventually, I think I'm going to get an Xbox One again. I would be like, oh, I'm going to get the new Xbox. But like, I think it was like $650 for the new Xbox. Like, fuck that. And this is where, like, I'm a, what's it called? I am not someone that just lives for gaming. I am a casual arcade gamer, basically. I like arcade games and I want to have some in my home. And, like, the fact that I can get this thing for the PSP is, this took us from, this and the James Bond game both took us from debating what console to get to just buying this. Because basically, had to play Lego Indiana Jones and had to play this. And that's where I was kind of stuck at the Xbox. It's the only thing I knew that did that. So finding the PSP collection of Namco, everything else really doesn't matter. Like, I just want some games that are fun to play. I'm excited about this thing. And, you know, I don't even know if I'm going to get an Xbox One or not. I'm really not that big of a gamer. The thing that I might do is get the Steam Deck, because in reality, like, I want something that'll do that, like what the Nintendo Switch does, where I can have a fucking handheld thing and then plug it into like a monitor or TV or something. And the Switch will let you do that too with, like, I think it's a Switch dock. No, not Switch dock, the Steam Deck will let you do that with the Steam dock or something. I'm lost. Sorry. But that's why I was kind of looking at those in the first place. And I think my PSP solution is not a forever thing, but I think this gets me a lot of what I wanted to play. And I have this for nostalgia always. And I'm going to worry about what I get next. But I think, like, the more I think about it, it's going to be an Xbox One and not a Steam Deck. Because basically I can have a PSP and an Xbox One, and I spent, like, you know, less than $300 on the both of them. And a Steam Deck, the cheapest one, is $450. And, you know, what kind of games do you really want to play, I guess, is my thing. I would love to play the newest, hottest game, but not for $650 for the console. They've made it to where I won't buy one. And this is where, like, I guess maybe I'm not the target demographic of most game companies or whatever, but the fact that you start losing people like me, I think means that you know, there's not enough hardcore gamers to keep your company alive. There's just not. You need to have people like me that just walk into a Best Buy and buy a PSP randomly because they fucking want one. And if you price those people out of it, I don't know. I'm just going to buy an Xbox One and a PSP and enjoy my old games. Like, this is half of my thing is, I guess this isn't a video gaming channel, but this is like a retro gaming channel in a way now. Like, this channel is a lot of things. But I've always been into retro games. Like, I think it comes from growing up not being allowed to play the new hotness and being stuck with a Namco arcade collection. I enjoy extreme replayability. And, you know, the first person shooter, like 6v6 online team deathmatch, is fucking fun. It is. But I think I'll be able to do that on Xbox One. I'm probably going to get Game Pass for it. Because, like, you can get the game that I wanted, GoldenEye. You can get it on Game Pass now. And then I'd at least be able to play it at home. The thing that pisses me off about GoldenEye is it looks like shit. It's from the 90s. It's for the N64. Why isn't there a version of that for every fucking console? There should be. And it should have multiplayer and shit. And, like, I don't understand why it's not. And I think like if they did that, so many fucking people would just play that. Be a whole bunch of them anyway. Especially if you just cleaned up the graphics a smidge. Because like the shitty ass graphics are a part of the nostalgia, but at the same time, you could have really bad looking graphics that look at considerably better. Like you could upgrade it to like PlayStation 2. Like the graphics of this thing look perfectly fine for me. It doesn't need to be upgraded to the newest, hottest, whatever. You lose some of the fun of the gameplay when you do that.